Nobody teaches you this stuff in school. Not taxes, not credit scores, not how banks quietly use your money. But you need to know it. So let's fix that right now. We're breaking down taxes, banks, interest, inflation, recessions, credit scores, investing, and more. All of it. Plain English, no fluff. All right, picture this. You just got paid $2,000. You open your bank app and it says $1,456. Where did the rest go? You scroll the pay stub. Federal income tax, state tax, Social Security, Medicare. A chunk of your money, gone. And they expect you to smile about it. Here's the honest truth though. Taxes are the cost of civilization. Roads, schools, hospitals, food safety inspections. You're paying for all of that. Then there's Social Security. Basically the government forcing you to save for retirement. And Medicare, a health insurance tax that covers older people and those with serious health issues. And here's the wild part. The government already knows what you owe, but it makes you guess anyway. Get it wrong, you're cooked. Countries with higher taxes, by the way, tend to have higher quality of life. Just saying. Now let's talk banks. You walk in, hand over $1,000, the cashier smiles, and you think, great, it's sitting in a vault, guarded, safe. Wrong. The second you deposited that $1,000, the bank took $900 of it and gave it to some guy who wanted to buy a jet ski. This is called fractional reserve banking. They only keep a fraction of cash on hand because normally not everyone shows up at the same time wanting everything back. Unless it's 2008 when everyone lined up to pull out everything they had all at once and the whole system just collapsed. So why do you even keep money in a bank? 3 reasons. It's convenient, it's insured up to $250,000 in the US, and they literally pay you to keep it there. That's called interest. Imagine you borrow $1,000. You pay back $1,280. Why? Because of interest. Interest is basically money charging rent to exist in someone else's hands. There are 2 types. Simple interest, flat fee, done. Compound interest. Every dollar you owe now has clones, and those clones also want rent. You miss one credit card payment on 20% interest. Now your interest is earning interest. Your $12 burrito just became $50 of regret. But on the flip side, invest at 7% compound interest and your money starts cloning itself. $100 becomes $200, then $400. You wake up old, rich, and slightly smug. The hack is simple. If you're paying interest, kill it fast. If you're earning interest, let it sit, feed it, give it time. Interest is either your worst enemy or your best unpaid employee. You buy a bag of crisps, open it up, and it looks like someone already helped themselves. In the price, 30% higher than last month. You've just been hit by inflation. Inflation is when money slowly loses its value. Your $5 bill is still technically $5, but it buys less. Less noodles, less petrol, it's just worth less. What causes it? Sometimes everyone's got cash and they all want the same TV. 2,000 people, 1,000 TVs. The shop goes, you know what? That'll be $800 now. A little inflation, 2% a year. That's totally normal, fine, even predictable. But when it spikes, savings die, wages fall behind, and the government has to step in. To fight inflation, the government raises interest rates. More expensive loans means people spend less. Less spending cools the economy down. Simple as that. A recession is when the economy shrinks for at least 6 months straight. One day you're fine, planning a holiday. Next day, layoffs, the stock market's tanking, and everyone's panicking. In a recession, people stop spending on things they don't need. Companies cut costs, jobs vanish, and everyone's just trying to survive. It's the economy doing a hard reset. Think of the economy like a party. In the boom phase, everyone's dancing, drinks are flowing. Then the lights flicker, reality hits. The DJ's now playing sad music about corporate downsizing. Recessions aren't forever, they're resets. Governments cut interest rates, send out stimulus, and eventually spending comes back. Growth resumes. But not without leaving scars. A credit score is a 3-digit number that decides if you get a house, a car loan, or a soul-crushing 27% interest rate on your new TV. This number isn't about wealth, it's about trust. Lenders just want to know one thing. If I hand this person money, are they going to pay me back? How's it calculated? Payment history, biggest one, credit utilization, credit age, credit mix, and new applications. That's essentially the whole formula. Your credit score is like a dog. Ignore it, and it'll ruin your life. Take care of it, and one day it might just help you buy a house. Here's the twist. You can have 0 debt and still have a terrible score if you have no credit history. The game is rigged, but learn the rules and you can rig it back. Here's a weird one. Money isn't real. Not really. A dollar bill and a Bitcoin have the same legitimacy. We just decided as a society that one of them means more, right now. The only reason a dollar buys something and a stick doesn't is because we, as a society, agreed that it does. Currency is just a shared belief, nothing more. The government prints it, central banks regulate it, people trade it for goods and services. Print too much, inflation destroys it. Too little, no one can afford anything. It's a balancing act that never really stops. You know about inflation now. And here's the thing. If your money just sits there, inflation is quietly eating it. The best defense? Put it to work. That's investing. What can you actually invest in? Stocks, tiny ownership slices of companies. If the company grows, your slice is worth more. Simple. Bonds. You loan money to a government or company. They pay you back with interest. Funds. Bundles of stocks and bonds so you don't have to pick every one yourself. Real estate. Property you hope someone else pays to live in. Forever. These are the main ones. There are others, but start here. Investing isn't about being lucky. It's about being early, diversified, and patient. Most wealthy people didn't win the lottery. They just gave compound growth 30 years to do its thing. Here's one that'll change how you think. Pick up a rock. It's worthless. Make it shiny and yellow, suddenly it's gold. Is gold actually more useful? No, we just decided it's worth more. Steve Jobs created the iPhone. Millions of people handed him $1,000 for it. Doctors save lives. Lawyers protect your rights. High value, high pay. It's that direct. Even Gucci sells the same handbag as your local supermarket, but charges 100 times the price. Why? Because people perceive it as more valuable, and perception is reality. Time is the most valuable asset in the world, and the best part? You probably have a lot of it left. But nobody gets an unlimited supply, so don't waste it. Most people trade time directly for money. 1 hour, 1 paycheck. The top earners figured out how to make their time worth a whole lot more through skills, leverage, and systems. In investing, time is the greatest force. Not luck, not income, time. Money invested consistently over decades doesn't just grow, it multiplies. Slowly at first, then suddenly, a lot. Ordinary people with average salaries retire with 7 figures. They didn't beat the system, they used it. A little money, invested consistently, given enough time, becomes a lot. That's taxes, banks, interest, inflation, recessions, credit scores, currency, investing, value, and time, all in one go. You're now ahead of most people your age. Use it. If this actually helped you, drop a like. It helps more than you think. And subscribe if you want more videos that give you the financial edge nobody bothered to teach you.